Okay, so today we are going to learn how to compare by counting to sets to 10, okay? So we're gonna look at certain objects and count them. It is so important when you're counting that you're touching your objects, okay? So a lot of times when I talk to you and when we're doing math, I always say, okay, let's go back and make sure. Always go back, make sure that you touch each one and as you're counting, okay? Don't go 1, 2, and then you're not even touching each one as you're counting. You gotta touch each one and then go on to the next one. So for example, right here, we're gonna go ahead and count these right here. These botas, these boots, we're gonna count them. And this is how I want you to start counting. It's very important. Count as you touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 boots, okay? Make sure you count as you touch, okay? Don't go ahead, don't go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no. Count as you're touching each one, okay? That way you don't lose what number you're at, okay? So always count as we touch. All right, we're gonna do these ones right here. Count as we touch. It's a good strategy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there are 8 binoculars. 8 binoculars. So everybody should be doing this work with me. Okay, everybody should be counting and touching their objects and writing their number. Okay, so that's a good strategy. That's one thing I want you to learn is to touch as you count. Okay, each one that you touch, that's where you're gonna say a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, okay? So we look at these objects and we counted each one and we wrote the number. So right here we counted there are 6 boots. Right here we counted there are 8 binoculars, okay? And now we're gonna compare those two. We're gonna look at those two. We're gonna look at these boots and these binoculars, okay? And we're gonna see, okay, which one is smaller, which is bigger, right? So less than, remember less than is smaller, right? Bigger than means that it's bigger, okay? The number is bigger. So one strategy we have learned to make sure to kind of compare them is to match each object with each other, right? So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna match each object and see who has more left over, okay? So let's go with the boots and we're gonna match with each binocular. And you gotta be very careful that you match each one, okay? Because they're in a circle, so you might accidentally match it with the wrong one. So let's match it each one boot with one binocular, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so we matched 6, one boot and one binocular together. Now, is there any more boots that I can match with? I don't see any more, but look at here. Look at right here. These are what's left over. So these sets of objects right here have more. So which one is more than? 8 is more than 6, okay? Because it has more in it. And 6 is less than, smaller than 8, okay? That's how we compare. Always use the great strategies that we have learned. Matching each object so that way you can compare and see which one is less than, smaller, or more than, bigger, okay? All right, we're gonna go ahead and do some more examples. All right, here we go. Number 1, the very top one right here, I'm gonna need some students to help me with these right here, okay? I need to know how many hats there is and how many buckets of paint there is, okay? So that way we can compare each one, all right? So I'm gonna ask, let's ask Richard. Richard, I will need your help, buddy. I need you to help me count these hats. Tell me when you are ready.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Count the hats.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Louder.
5.
She can't hear you if you're whispering. Yeah, speak up.
How many do we have?
How many? How many? Hey, no fake sleeping. Come on. How many? Richard Castle, you want the popcorn? You get your butt up and wake up. Excuse my mouth, I'm sorry.
So how many hats do we have,
Yeah.
Richard?
This is tiring.
How many hats?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How many?
8.
There's 8. Yeah, good job. How many buckets of paint do we have?
Let's count.
Let's count, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7,
8, 9,
9, and what's the last one? 10. There is 10. Thank you,
10.
Richard. Thank you for helping me count those. All right, so we have 8 hats and we have 10 buckets of paint, okay? Now we're gonna compare these, okay? Compare, we're gonna look at the hats and we're gonna look at the paints to see which one of these objects is greater number. Remember, greater number means bigger. Bigger, which one of these has more? So I'm gonna ask somebody else to help me. How about Emilio? Emilio, which ones are these are bigger?
10.
The 10 is bigger, huh? The 10 has more. So, you know, one thing we can also do is we can go like this to see how many there is, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I think I did that right? Oh, oopsie, oopsie. Oh, hold on, let me do it again because it did not let me do it. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these two right here do not have a match. So that means this group right here has more. So yes, Emilio, you are correct. 10 is greater than 8. It's bigger. Thank you. Now, let's count the, it looks like badges or something like that. Can't really tell, it's so little. Let's count these, here we go. I want everybody at home to be counting things and by yourself. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is 7. Now let's count the piñatas. Here we go. I'm gonna count them and you're gonna tell me what number. I'm gonna call on somebody. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. How do we write 6? Start at the top in a little circle. There we go. Little curve, I guess. 7 and 6. Now I need your help. Who can tell me which one is greater than? Remember, greater than means bigger. Greater than means bigger. I'm going to ask Christian.
Okay.
Yes, teacher.
I can't hear you, honey. Which one is bigger? Christian, which one's greater than? 7 or 6?
7 or 6.
7.
7 is bigger, right? It's greater than. Yes, we have more on this side. So this one is greater than. Number 7 is greater than. Thank you so much. Right here, greater than. All right, and greater than. All right, let's count these right here, the gloves and the bats, okay? Remember to touch and count. I'm gonna have you guys do this one by yourself, and then I'm gonna call on somebody to see how many you counted in each one. So go ahead, I'm gonna give you a few seconds to count the gloves and count the balls and write down the number, okay? All right, Sadie, how many gloves did you count? How many gloves did you count, Sadie?
I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 gloves. Thank you, Sadie. How about, let's ask Desmond, how many baseballs do we have? How many did you count, Desmond? Desmond, I'm waiting on you, buddy. How many did you have? How many did you count? Okay, we're gonna move on. Desmond's not paying attention at this moment. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. And I'm gonna ask Petra, how many baseballs do we have, Petra? How many did you count? How many did you count? What number did you write?
Nine.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, Petra, good job. Thank you. Now, Petra, I have one more question for you. Which one is greater than? Which one's bigger? The 6 or the 9?
9.
9. Yes, because it has more, right? Greater than means more. Okay, thank you. All right, everybody should have this information on your paper. This work should be on your paper. We're going to go on to the next page. Let's see. All right, now we're going to count how many guitars and how many drums. Okay, start counting these real quick. And then I'm going to ask you how many you counted. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to ask Beth, how many guitars did you count, Beth?
8.
Beautiful. Yes, I counted 8 too. 8 guitars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many drums did you count, Beth?
7.
7. Good job. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, Beth, which one is greater, the 7 or the 8? Which one has more? Greater. I'm sorry, say that again, honey.
The 8.
That 8. Beautiful. Thank you, Beth. All right, now I need, let's see here, Calvin, I need you to tell me how many trucks there is. How many trucks? How many you counted? Everybody should count their trucks and write their number. Count the cars and write their number. How many trucks, Calvin?
7.
7. Let's double check on that, Calvin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beautiful. Let's count the cars. Calvin, how many do you have?
What are you doing, baby? Not you.
No.
Calvin, what are you doing? Or Dominic, what are you doing, baby?
9.
How many, honey? 9. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Beautifully done, Calvin. Yes, we have 9 cars. Now, Calvin, 7 or 9, which one is greater than? Remember, greater is more.
9.
9, perfect. Yes, thank you, Calvin. All right, these look like chapsticks, I think. Oh, no, or thermals. Looks like thermals. And lunch boxes.
The bottles.
Yeah,
The bottles.
thermal bottles, yeah. So let's see here. Tomas, I need your help. Tomas, how many do we have? How many bottles do we have here? How many did you count? Everybody should count all the bottles and count all the lunch boxes and write their number.
9.
9. Tomas says 9 bottles. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, you are correct. How many lunch boxes, Tomas?
2. 10.
10. He says 10. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You are correct, Tomas. Now, Tomas, which one is greater than? Remember, greater is bigger.
10.
10. Beautifully done. You guys are so smart. My goodness. I'm so proud of you all. All right. Everybody should have all this work. Let's move on to the next problem. All right, here we go. We're going to go ahead and count these hats, these birthday hats, and these presents.
One B. You circled the wrong one.
Say that again. Who was speaking?
You
Sorry.
circled the wrong one on the other one. Like it said to circle the least of it.
Oh, the less. Oh, it did. Yeah, so what does that mean? What does that mean?
To circle the one that's lesser than the higher number.
That's right. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we have 10 lunch boxes, which one is less than?
9.
9. Thank you for letting me know, Leah. I should have read the directions. Thank you, honey.
That's Nazia.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Isaiah. You sounded so much like Leah there for a minute. All right. So yes, 9. Sorry. This was less than. That was my fault. But that's okay. The rest is fine, just the way it is. Okay? At least you guys know what is less than. Less than is small. Greater is bigger. So on this one right here, it says we have to count each object. So count all the birthday hats. Count all the presents. Okay? And on this one right here, since we haven't practiced less than, we're going to go ahead and practice less than since I messed up on the other page and only circled the greater than. So right here, we're going to see which one is less than. Remember, less is smaller. So count the hats, count the birthday presents, okay? And then I'm going to call on somebody to help me with this one. Okay, Maggie, tell me, how many hats did you count?
8.
Maggie counted 8. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautifully done. Okay, how many birthday presents did you count? 8. She counted 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. Okay, which one is less than, greater than, or are they the same? They're what?
They're the same.
They're the same number, right? One is not bigger than the other. They have the same amount. So let's double check. And one of the ways that we can double check is by matching them, right? So let's match them to make sure that we are correct. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have 8. They all have a pair. They all matched up. One hat and one present. So they are the same. So we don't have less than. One is not bigger than the other. And we don't have one that's greater. We don't have one that's bigger than the other, okay? Okay, I'm going to erase that here. So right here it says, draw to show what you know about 10 with the same number of objects. So we had the same number of objects of hats and presents. Now I want you to draw something with the same amount of objects. So you're going to draw one object on one side, just like the hats, and then one object on the other side, just like the presents. And they have to be the same, okay? The same number. So I'm going to do hearts. Okay, here we go. You can draw whichever one you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 5 hearts. So I'm going to write the number 5. And I'm going to double check. I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. Now I'm going to do counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to double check. I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I do. Now, another way that I can double check is by matching each heart with the counter. I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, each heart has been matched with the counter. There is no more left on the heart side or the counter side. So I have the same number. So those are different ways we can always double check we have the same. We can match up with the objects. We can count, double count, and double check our counting, okay? So now I have 5 hearts and 5 counters. They are equal. They are the same, okay? When two numbers are the same, you put this sign here, equals. That means that 5 and 5 are the same, okay? All right, now let's talk about the homework. The homework, we're gonna be doing the same thing as we practiced today. The first one, you're gonna count each object on each side, write the number. And the number 1 through 2, 1 and 2, you're going to circle the number that is less. Remember, the one that is smaller. Less is smaller, okay? 1 and 2, you're gonna circle the one that is less. Number 3, you're gonna circle the one that is greater. So you're gonna count the boats and the fish and circle the one that is greater after you write the number, okay? Then you're gonna do the same thing here. Count the pencils and glues, write down the number, and you're gonna circle the one that is less. Remember, less is smaller. Greater is bigger, okay? And then this is just a review. You're gonna count the whistles and write the number, okay? And then right here it says, how many more counters would you place in the 10 frame to show way to make 6? So right here, you need to make the number 6, okay? Oops, let me get that pencil out real quick. So you need to show 6 here. So you already have one counter in the 10 frame. How many more do you need to make 6, okay? And that's, you're gonna go ahead and color those counters in. You need 6, no more than 6, and make sure you touch as you count, as you add them in, okay? And that is homework for you, okay? So page 215 and 216, okay? And it's everything that we've already learned today and in the past.